Hi there. This is Meri at the.meri.atelier, and it is Thursday night, probably around 8:30 in the evening, 8:30 p.m. I have a lot of things that I should be doing, but I feel like sketching. So I got out my water-soluble graphite sticks and my sketching tools, and I'm going to sketch. I've been sketching pictures. This is really a 29 faces, but I probably have only done about 5 faces in February. But I'm going to call it 29 faces forever. I think I started calling it that last year because I never quite finished 29 in the month of February or September or whatever. But I do like that when I sketch them and I attach them up here in my journal, I can cover up my journaling behind it. So I may continue this throughout. Now, Annie V sent me a tool for figuring out relationships and that type of thing, and I just opened that this morning. Thank you so much, Annie V. But I still need to figure out how to use it, so I'm not going to use that tonight. I just want to sit down and sketch and have some fun. So that's really what I'm going to do. And I still haven't, I'm going to get to the point to where I have a slanted easel type where I have I could do that very easy by putting my little box here and getting a tablet and putting behind it. But I'm not going to fool with that tonight either. I just want to sketch. Sometimes sketching for me is not about achieving a masterpiece. Sometimes it's just about, it's relaxing for me. It's like doodling. It's like working across, well, maybe not a crossword puzzle because you have to think a little bit more, but it's just playing a game of solitaire. Let's put it that way. So I am going to go out to my gallery and show you the picture that I'm going to sketch. Downloads. Right here. This lady. Now, that's about all I can get her to expand right here. So I'm going to do a snapshot. Whoops. That's not it. There. Now I can expand her face further. And that's what I want to work on, is her face. Now, this is off of Wiki. This is Ada. Ada. Let me let me get her full name for you. I forgot her. Well, her name is Ada Rehan, Rehan. She was an American actress in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Now, while I'm doing that, I'm going to move my photo here into my other gallery. Move to album. I'll just put it in with this one now. Ooh. Rename. There. Hopefully I got it in there. It's probably way at the bottom. Where did she go to? I put her in the wrong gallery. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Okay. The only other things I have in this gallery are my own works and some of the other pictures that I've been working on. But let's look at this one. This is off of Wiki Commons. I'll put a link in the description box below. Here she is, kind of not full figured, but from her waist up. She was an American actress, so obviously she's got this fancy dancy hat on. She's got a wonderful cape on here, a collar on her dress. I have to say that dress looks uncomfortable. I would be pulling that off in no time, but it makes her look very elegant. Yes, it makes her look like an actress. But I'm going to go back to the close-up because it's a little blurry because it is a close-up. I probably could go here and let's see if I can improve it. Auto. Well, that's a little dark. Deep. So you can kind of play around in your phone, get different effects. Classic. All right, I think I'll go with classic because that really gives me the highlights and shadows of this. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And if I ever want to change it, see the difference. I don't know if you can tell the difference between this one and this one, but it has very much the same shape of her face. It's a little more detailed. So I like to start out verbalizing to myself what this picture is all about. And she's got a hat on. She's got some bangs. She's got some bangs just almost down to her eyebrows. She's got a fancy hat with, I wouldn't call them feathers. It looks like some kind of a, well, if it's feathers, it's an artificial type feather plumage up there. She's got curls, and I'm thinking her curls are a brown color. She's got very curly hair. Her collar is coming almost up to her chin. You can see just a little bit of her neck. Her head, she is looking, the light source is coming from this way, and it's, of course, when it does that, it puts this side of her face all in shadow, and there's a lot of light source over here. Now, this is the enhanced photo, but you can still see that over here. Probably not as much, but you can still see a light source coming from this direction. This really did put it in shadow, didn't it? But I kind of like that. So that's what I'm going to draw from because I can see her eyes more. Her eyes are looking in the direction of, they're looking in the same direction that the light source is going. She's kind of looking up and in this direction. She's looking at somebody over here. And let's see, her dress, I think I'm just going to get that full color of a dress. I may not do as fancy in there. I may only do this portion here and leave all this black, end it where all this brocade starts, because I'm really not interested in that. More like this. Only I want to get her full head in there and maybe the plumage of her hat. So I'm going to take my phone off of the charger because charger is in my way. Come on, get my earbuds away. And of course I rotated the photo when I did that. Let's see, I think I can turn rotation off here. Let's turn off rotation and see if it won't just leave it that way for me. So I'm going to do the same thing. Start out with my Ticonderoga HB plain pencils that you get at probably got these at Dollar General. They're Dixon pencils. There's just a lead pencil. And I'm going to, let's see, she's got a very, I want to say a sharp nose. She's got it's the way the light is hitting it and the way that when I enhance the photo, it has a very sharp line of a light source right in there, right in here. And I'm not sure that it's that. I may bop over to the other photo, and the light source on the other photo is not as defined here. But I like this photo because I can really see her eyes pretty good in here. This, of course, is an older photo. This is nothing, you know, you're not working with the technology that we have in today's world. But it's enough to have fun with, if you ask me. I'm just out here to have fun with it. So I want to say, if I start down in here and start right in there up, that her collar probably takes about a third, and her head a little less than a third, and her hat the rest of it. So I'm just going to kind of very lightly tell myself where I'm going here. And I should probably zoom in at this point where you can see it a little better. And you probably won't see it a little better until after I work with a darker lead anyway, but... And of course, my paper is slanted here. That's because I'm right-handed and I'm working at an angle. I'm not slanted that much, but I think my camera is straight. Well, it may be a little crooked because this is straight. Yeah, it's a little crooked. Let's see if I can straighten it out a little. That's a little better. Excuse the wiggling. It's going to wiggle just a little until until it's done wiggling. I might zoom out. See, I fiddle around with this. You almost have to. You can't really set it up until you get your camera turned on. I'm going to pull these earbuds out. They're bothering me too. Let's just put these aside for now. There. So I started with her collar over here, and I'm saying from this point down, I'm not going to do, because that's just all brocade and lace. I'm more interested in her face. So right in here is where her collar's going to go, and I am using the flat side of my lead there. I'm not using the point, and I'm just kind of... Now, this number 2 pencil is not water soluble, so I can't come in here and do tonal values. I might be able to use this blender pencil a little and blend it a little if I ever want to. Yeah, this will blend it, but that's not what I'm really after right now. I'm just after getting the composition defined. And it looks like over here, this collar kind of goes up around, and then it kind of comes like this. Let's go back and look at that other photo. Yeah, let's look at the full-bodied one. Yeah, look at this collar. Look at that collar. This line here looks like the back side of her collar as it wraps around her shoulder, and the front side looks like it ends right in here. If you can see where I'm pointing, right in there. I think I will eliminate this. That bothers me a lot. I understand it, but to me, this back side of the collar is really not telling us much, other than it's really weird when you look at it. So it looks like, I don't know where that's coming from. It looks like her collar is wrapping around, but it would almost have to wrap around and then curve up that way. So I'm not sure where this black area... I would like to have her turn around so I can see. So I'm going to eliminate this whole dark area on this side of her body because I don't like it. So let's go back to here. So I am down in here. I'm kind of bringing her collar down this way and then up just a little. And this is where it gets into this kind of white lacy, and it kind of falls almost to the bottom of this black area and almost up to the top of her chin. And I'm not trying to draw every little wiggle in the lace. I'm just getting the shape of it in there, just generally where I think it should be, kind of up here, and kind of falls off over in this way. That's what I have. And this is her collar up over here, and this white area is her collar there. So now she's got her neck, and you can just see very little of her neck here, and her hair over on this side actually falls underneath of the lace over here. Her hair is actually coming right down into there. So I'm going to flatten my lead again. And all I'm doing here is just kind of blocking in the shape of her head and where it's going to go. Now she's got her hat. I want to leave room for this wonderful hat and the plumage up here. Am I going to have enough room for it? Do I need to lower this? I might need to lower it. Or I might just get a part of this plumage in and leave this plumage off here. So let's continue as I was. Her face is, I would say her face is sort of angular. It's not real long, but it's not a round face. And it probably looks more angular to me because we are kind of, I don't want to say below her, but we're looking up at her and she's looking over that way. We're looking up, we're kind of looking up at her and she is looking up that way. Up that way. So her chin, her face is sort of angular and there's not a whole lot of room in there where her cheek, and I'm just kind of softly put the shape of her chin and her cheek in here. And I just want to do it soft. I don't want a hard line. And it comes over this way. And I would say her eyebrow starts in here, right in here. And it's very dark and very defined. And then it starts with the hair. And now I can tell you right now, I want to move everything down. So that's what I'm going to do. I could just turn the page over, and I might, because I know that I'm not going to have enough room to do my hat and plumage up there. Now, I usually start up here. I usually start here or with the left eyebrow. For some reason, I wanted to start here because I was talking about this area. So I think I will start up here again, and then whatever I get down here will be remaining. So I'm not liking the position of her head on this side. So I'm going to turn it over and just start all over because I'm just having fun. Now, I know that there are ways to measure all this out, but I like to tell you the truth, I like to do this and figure out what did I do. You know, before I even get to this point, I automatically, well, not automatically, I got to the point where I could see I was not going to achieve what I wanted. And I think when you can see that early on, I think that you are learning something rather than just keep going. I think that your perception of the photo and what you're putting on the paper, I think that's an improvement when you can see that you need to flip the page and readjust it. I could erase all this. I do not have a kneaded eraser. I'm going to get me one. I just don't have one on hand. I have this. I've got all sorts of pencil erasers that I carved. I mean, I could take this little check mark eraser and erase it. This is a polymer eraser. I'd probably do a good job of it, but I'm not going to bother with it. I'm just going to start here because I want to start up here at the plumage anyway, because I want to get that beautiful plumage on here. So let's go back. So now I'm right up here at the top of her hat, and I'm drawing in this plumage, and hopefully I'm not drawing it too big. And then it kind of, there's two of them, and one kind of curves into the other right in here. I've got my paintbrush and paintbrush shadows and everything going here. So let's just draw this plumage. But I've already figured out the angles on her face, and I figured out a lot just by doing what I did over here. So it's just a matter of redoing the composition. So now we're over on this side of her face, and she's got this wonderful area of curls and curves in here. And I'm just going to kind of lightly put them in. And you cannot see what I'm doing because it's very light. I'm just blocking this in. And her hat angles down this way. And let's get the angle of this right. I want to look at this more, because it's hard to tell what I think her hair might have. She might have a real curly bangs in there, and her hat may be in here. I'm thinking that is because I've seen other pictures where her hair is nice and full. So I'm thinking that she has some curls coming in here. That's how I'm going to draw her anyway. It's hard to tell on an old photo like this, but. And then I'm just going to bring it down like that. And this is where I kind of want to get the shape of her face, because this curl comes down, but her eyebrows come right in here. And she's got really, even on this other picture, let's go back to that other picture. Even on this picture, she's got really deep set eyebrows that I can't see them as defined here because it all grays out on me. And here, I know there's highlight in here, but it's not quite as bright. It's not as bright as the other picture is. When I fooled around with the lighting here, it really brightened this area in here. I don't think I'll do that on mine, but I might. So I want to get her eyebrow in here, and I want to get it in fairly shaded in here. And then her other eyebrow comes up here. You don't see much of her forehead here. You see all these wonderful curls. And then she's got the other bright eyebrow here, and it kind of comes off this way, and her head falls there. Now her forehead, she's just got a little there, and it kind of comes out and then starts going down. She's got sort of a cheekbone there, and then it starts curving in and around. Do I have this? Do I have this to my contentment? I'm not sure that I do, but we'll keep playing with it. Let's see. Let's bring her nose this way. Yeah, she's looking up. She's looking up. Oh, yeah, I get all my YouTube notifications. And I tend to want to make the eyes a lot bigger than they are. That just seems to be something that I want to do. And she's kind of looking up and over that way. I'm going to draw this other eye in. See if I don't And this other eye, I can tell you already, I need to allow for more of an eyebrow in here because I need an eyelid in there. And that means this eyebrow is going to come up more and angle that way more, which means this one should too. And yes, I seem to erase a lot when I'm drawing with a pencil. It's just a natural thing to want to do. I guess it's one of the reasons you draw with a pencil. Can you see where I'm going with this? After I get the face defined here and the head, I will come back in and start putting in some values. Now, I think her nose actually shows shorter than what it really is because of the angle of her head. And that's what I want to get. I want to get her head. She's not looking, her head is not tilted way up, but she's looking up and over that way. And that's an interesting challenge to sketch. She's got a curl in here, some curls in there. I should be doing that with the flat of my pencil. Curls kind of coming in this way, filling their head that way, kind of filling in here, falling down in there. And then I think her cheekbone is closer to her eye here. And it kind of comes down and not down it like that, but very soft. And then her neck, I think her neck might be what's defining her head looking up. And she's got that collar coming way up here. I don't think I have the tilt of her head. We'll keep working on it. It's her chin. You see more of her chin area in here. Just kind of darken the eyes a little. Darken in there. And then this area is dark in here. Is she beginning to look like something to you? I think her hair kind of curls like that. And I think her face is actually a little skinnier. I'm keeping wanting to make it skinnier. And the neck area comes kind of like that, and it meets the now part of the problem is that I'm drawing her much larger. I'm not even going to, I'll probably get a portion of this black on there, but I will not even get all of the total black area on there. Because see, her shoulder actually comes down like that. And she does have, oh, I see what's going on here. This is part of her cape back in here. And it actually comes just a little back in here like that. And then this kind of curves around, and then we get into that funny business over there that I'm not going to draw. Okay. I still think her face is fatter than it should be, but no. at this point, let's get into that nose area there. There is not much space between the tip of her nose and her eyebrow. And that's because she's looking up. She's looking up, and you see a lot of the underside of her nose, which kind of like Shannon's nostril cam. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do a nostril cam here, and it's a lot of it's in shadow. So maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll just put it in shadow here. And this side of her face is all in shadow too. That may be a part of my issue. Yeah, kind of a nostril cam in there. And then it's very defined in there. And then she's got the little ridge and the lips. And her lips are not smiling. They're just, she's kind of solemn. See if I can't get that a little better. And she's got at the bottom lip. And this is all in shadow in here. This is all in shadow. Part of her chin. And then her neck. I might need more neck area in here. And then this kind of comes up this way. And then you see her neck in there. Okay, I think I'm going to go to a softer lead pencil, or maybe I'll play with this blending tool. Maybe I'll play with the blending. This is, well, they call it a blender. That's what the package said. It just says Koh-I-Noor on there. It says check. Oh yeah, it says blender right here. So let's just blend a little of this to see what I get in here. Putting that shadow on this side of her face. And of course, around here on her eyes in there. And she really has more dark area in here. Kind of her hair coming down, and it curves up in there. It's very dark. Of course, I did darken this, but it's even dark. Even if I go over to this other photo, it's pretty dark, darkly defined in there. So I'm just going to continue using my blender tool. I'll come back in, put all this, just kind of blend out that graphic. This is a number 2 pencil that I got at the Dollar General. But I do like how this blender tool is treating this. Because number 2 lead, this is not water soluble lead. And then of course we get the darker areas in here. So let's just give her a dark area in here. It comes down that way, over this way. She's starting to take shape. I think she is. And then I can actually come in and erase the part in here that I don't like if I want it to be highlighted a little bit more. Because I do think there is a little bit more highlight in there. I might blend a little bit more of the nose area in here. Let's get a... And she's got a little shading underneath of the eyes. So let's put this all, let's blend all this out. I like this blender tool. It's really taking that number 2 lead and toning it out. And I do like that. She's got all these curls up in here. Yeah, it's dark area in there. Okay, so now at this point, I'm pretty happy with it. Let's go to some of my other soft lead pencils here. I've only been sketching for 38 minutes, 37 and a half, and this is what I've done. So I'm pretty happy with that. I even resolved my sketch over there, brought it down a little so I could get that hat in there. But now I'm ready to actually go in with some of my water soluble media. Yeah, I think I'll use this brush that came with the Faber Castell water soluble pencils. And I think I'll start out with the 2B. That's the 8B, the 6B, the 2B. And you can tell I've used it. I quit sharpening my lead with the pencil sharpener because it wastes so much of the lead. I do sharpen it with my utility knife. Get me a little piece of wax paper here, because that's all I got left here is a little piece. Let's just sharpen my lead into this wax paper so I can dump it easy, hopefully. Comes a train. Here comes a train. I love my trains. Let's get a little of this lead, a little more lead, because I know I'm going to be using a lot of it. So you just kind of take it and you shave it. You don't cut into it. You just angle your knife and you shave off that wood around the lead. Now you can, and artists do buy, and I might get me a sanding block, a little, I haven't seen one where it's been attached to the wooden paddle for a long time. They probably have them where they sell art supplies, but they don't carry, they carry sanding blocks, but they're usually a kind of a 4-sided figure with a, looks more like a sponge type thing. And what you can do is just get some sandpaper and cut it into strips and attach it onto a little wooden paddle, and you got the same thing. But if you need a sharper point, you can take your, after you've shaved away as much as you want of your wood here. And the reason I really do that on these Dixon number 2 pencils, I'll sharpen those in the pencil sharpener because I don't mind losing that lead. But this is water soluble, and I paid about $12 for what, 5 of them plus the paintbrush, which isn't outrageous, but it's more expensive. It isn't like you're buying 8 or 10 of them for $2. So there. And I'll use this. You'd be surprised how fast you use this. Let's get rid of this. Okay, now I want to come in here, and I think I want to start darkening this area in here. And this is water soluble. You'll see when I take the paintbrush to this, the water to it. And so I'm not too worried about the strokes of my pencil as I shade it in. You see how the strokes, I'm really giving it a lot of diagonal stroking. I'm not trying to smooth it out or anything. When I take my paintbrush to it, it'll smooth all that out. Now, where I want the strokes to sort of show, and where I go from doing this to doing this, is where I want some of her bangs to be coming, the curls to show. So I'll do more of the, the line work. But if you look at this, and this is the one that's not enhanced, if you look at this, this is pretty much, you don't see a lot of the hair, the stroke. It's pretty much all in shadow in here. So that's how I'm going to put it. That's how I'm going to put it, because I'm just having fun. I'm not trying to do anything, what do you want to say, outrageous. Yeah, I'm just having fun with her. Now over here, and get that in here, you can see a little bit more of the curls. You can see this curl comes down this way. And you can see some shadow of it in there, and you can see shadow in here and how it comes around in there. And then you can sort of see a curl right in here, just a little one coming in here, and then this is all in shadow. And then you see some hair falling. There's a part of a collar, this collar, which is really dark, right in here, comes back over in here. Same thing, extension of it. But that kind of falls into, her hair kind of falls behind all that. And then there's a curl coming. There's a curl, you can kind of see a part of her curl back in here. And there's shadow all in here. There's shadow in there. And there's some curl coming down this way. Coming down that way. Kind of. And it looks like that plumage in here. Kind of, it's hard to define it because I'm not sure exactly what. That hat may have a point like this, because it looks like this plumage comes under it. So that hat may come down like this. And then her bangs are sticking out from under it. So I could even, for her hat and for her cloak and for this, I could go to like a 6B. Let's go to the 6B. And this is just a darker lead yet, softer. The softer your lead is, the higher the B number, like 6B, 8B is higher than a 6B. So, and the plumage itself is very, very light. I'm just going to kind of put in some areas in here to make it look feathery, maybe. Some lines coming up this way. Kind of comes in, kind of tucks in. And this falls into shadow. This is all dark in here. And see the difference between the 6B And what I've done in here, this is the 2B again. That's the lead pencil, but we're gonna kind of color it with our 2B. And I'm just shading this part in. And then this gets dark again in here. Now I haven't done anything to her eyes or her face yet. Let's get out my water. I'm just playing with this. I'm just playing with it. You know, I don't care if it looks like her or not. I'm just having fun. And that's really what you should do with your drawings, unless you have been commissioned to do a portrait or something. But I don't do that either. And I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Thank you. If I were live and I sneeze, they'd all be saying Gesundheit and God bless you, or bless you. And of course, after doing that, oh, I'm kind of liking it. As I'm looking into the laptop, I've got to sneeze again, I think. Excuse me. I'm looking at the screen on my laptop, and I'm really liking it. That's the part that I would edit out, the sneezes, if I were editing this, which I am not. So you're just going to put up with my sneezes, I guess, or go to a different channel, which I hope you don't. Yeah, I'm kind of really liking this. And then I'm just going to kind of put in some, hopefully these pencil strokes will still kind of show. And this gets even darker in here. And the shadowing kind of falls off down in here. So I'm just kind of playing around with her hair now. Just kind of giving her a hairdo. And I got shadow defined in here. Can I mute this for a minute? Let me see. Sound. Speaker. I have to blow my nose. And if it, because I sneezed, if it didn't mute, excuse me. Let's see if it muted. I'm going to turn the speaker back up. There, I turned the speaker back up. I hopefully muted me blowing my nose. If it didn't, excuse me, I sneezed. And that meant I had to blow my nose. And I'm not editing it out. I don't want to download this video and edit all that out. YouTube is creating a creator studio for a new one for the creators. And supposedly they have a video trimmer or video editor there. I haven't found it yet. I'm still looking for it. I cannot control it on my phone. My phone would not work. And I haven't found it on this laptop yet. So there you go. So if I can edit that sneeze and the blowing my nose out, I will. If I can't, I'm hoping I muted it. If I can't, oops, excuse me. Oh, dear Mary. But I'm having fun sketching. I'm having so much fun sketching this lady. See, now you can get into like some pencil line work in here and the shadow underneath of it. And you can get into the fun part of drawing. Her head actually this neck area here has some more hair. Looks like a little bit of her ear shows in here. And this is all dark. This is all part of this. This is all part of that cape area in there. And then it starts in there. And then I start getting this other part of that cape, which I don't really like. Let's see. And this kind of angles out over this way and up and around that way. And then it's got some of these lines coming in here with some shadow underneath. And this is all dark. Now, one thing that I've noticed with this water-soluble graphite is that I do not notice after I wet it down and put water on it, and I staple it into my journal, I do not notice it rubbing off on the facing page a lot. And I don't know if that's a characteristic of water-soluble graphite, but usually your pencil will, a soft-leaded pencil will. Now, I'm not worried about the strokes in here because I will be watering that down. I will be smoothing it out with water. But just putting in these dark areas here just helps define her whole shape, the whole shape of her head. And I think there's actually her bangs kind of come this way. We're going to make them come that way and then just kind of shade it in. There's a curl that comes up this way. And this is kind of shaded in, kind of that way. And notice I haven't gotten my graphite sticks out yet. I'm still using the water-soluble pencils. I may or may not get those out. Just depends. But see how adding water to this is why I'm not worried about the lines. Now I can actually take some of this, what's happening in here, and kind of shade her face, but you need to do it fast and soft. Shade her underneath of her neck area, under here. Shade all of this in. And here again, I'm working on a cardstock. So I'm not working on a mixed media paper. So cardstock, you just can't get it too wet or it'll start piling and pilling. And for my work, I don't care because it's like, it's fun to draw. I'm just having fun here. I really don't care if it piles too much. I don't want it to get too bad, but you still have to be careful how much water you get on it. She says as she smooths that area out. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Let's give her some cheekbone in here. I might have to come back in there on her face. Her face looks pretty wide, but that's because I don't have her cheeks defined, the side of her face defined, and there's area in here that could be shadow, and there's shadow going on in here. But my page is wet. So I'm going to work with this. Kind of work with that plumage up in there. Just kind of get just a little light touch. Now her eyebrows need a lot more. And that means I need to get in there. So, but what I'm going to do next is this background, which is a lighter gray than her hat and her hair. So I am going to go, I used a 2B, but I think there's an HB in here. There's a 4B, here's an HB, but yeah, that's an HB. Let's do, and I haven't used this too much. I must have used it at one time because it's been sharpened. But I'm just going to kind of lightly put in the background all this gray area around her. And this is water-soluble lead. So I'm just kind of making it gray. Now let's see what happens if I take the brush to it. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting. And here again, this is a cardstock paper. So it's going to warp and it's going to curl. And it might peel and pile if I get too much water on it. But that's really kind of, I'm kind of liking where this is going. I'm not really liking this area. So let's see if I can, I'm not liking this. Let's see if I can, yeah, just kind of darken this a little bit more in here. Kind of angle that a little bit more. Just a little. Maybe even I might have too much white in there. This may need to be darker because there really is not. If you look at this area on her, between her fuzzy, curly, lacy collar and this dark area, it's just, there's not that much space. So I'm going to bring this dark area up a little bit more. A whole lot more, about a ½ inch more. And I'm using my 6B to do that. Oh, I have been going for almost an hour, 58 minutes. So really all I have to do before I stop and don't overwork this is do some work on her face. So, you know, truthfully, if you can get this far, even with all your mistakes in an hour, you've achieved something, if you ask Meri. Now, I think I do want to darken this area, some of her hair a little bit more. Just dry enough to darken all this. Just kind of softly darken it. Darken this a lot. Kind of softly darken this area in here. Maybe darken this area. She's got hair that almost comes down to her brow there. And she's got some. Let's see what kind of damage I've done. Yeah, I'm not unhappy with it. Now, really, all I have to do is put the detail in on her face. I'm really kind of happy with what's going on in here. Maybe do a little bit more curvy work in here, a little more shadow to let you know that it's a collar. A little curvy work in there. So I'm going to turn this over and take the heat gun to it. If I can find my heat gun. See how that's kind of, you can see where it's wet area in there. Where I darkened that and brought it up a little more. Well, I know it's wet. It's also where I drew on the back of it, so I don't want to mislead you there. I drew that. But my dark area in here actually falls over on this side. So that's not the wet. That is actual pencil mark. Oops. 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 Let's kind of flatten this out. I kind of learned this from Cat Hand, to take it. Now she does it off the edge of her table, but if you kind of take your ruler and just kind of pull, you can kind of flatten out some of this worked paper. I don't know where she learned it, but I like doing this, especially with a, it doesn't get it all way to define it, but, and then this eye is in a lot, whoops, that isn't what I wanted. Where's my eraser? I didn't want that. Let's kind of blend that out. This eye actually probably could come over a little bit more. And then like this. And it comes down a lot more. And then she's got a very definite eyelid in here, like that. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. And then kind of darken the eyeball. Like that. Yeah. But it does come down. And you can kind of see the area under it here. And you can kind of see the area under this. This area is very shaded. And this area is very shady. And then it lightens up there. And this area of her face is all in shadow. That I don't want to mess that up too much. Kind of give her some nostrils. Maybe a little bit more, but let's work with her lips. After all, I'm doing a drawing. I'm doing a sketch. I'm not doing a photograph. We got a photograph. There's a photograph right there. It may be an old one. So that's one thing that frustrates me about realism in art. People, they try so hard to get a realistic face. And, they got it sitting in front of them. That's one thing that really frustrates me about realism. I'd rather work at it as my eye sees it. Let's put some shadow in there. And then if it's not realistic, well, I'll either try it again or I'll say, oops. And to me, it's more of an art. And for me, it's the art of it is learning the relationships and on the face and it's more of an expression than trying to be realistic. Not that there's anything wrong with realistic art. There's not. But in a way, I think you already have it here. My paper's curling. You already have it there. Why do you want it here? That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, you have it here almost better than, unless you're a highly talented or trace it or whatever. You haven't, you could ever get it in here. I think her chins needs some shading. It's almost too fat in here. Let's just kind of shade this in, kind of around this way, around over here. This is probably part of her neck in here. How is that looking to you? Kind of up around in there. One thing about putting the shadow in, I get a little frustrated. I feel like I'm giving a beard. Where's my brush? And I always laugh at that. She's not the bearded lady. Well, let's just shade it a little. Now Meri just likes to rattle on as she's sketching. She likes to rattle on. But I'm really just kind of telling you what's going on in my head while I'm doing this. I'll have people ask me, tell us how you do it. Tell us, and that's not the only reason I'm doing these. We're not putting them in fast forward, but it's not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons why I'm talking my way through it. So you can see what's going on in my head while I do this. Am I happy with this? I'm not happy with that. Let's shade this in a little bit more and maybe bring some of that shadow over this way, down here. What you're trying to do is put a 3-dimensional head on a 2-dimensional piece of paper. And I probably have too much in there. And here's the point where I want to dry it again. I think it's dry. I want to experiment with this white. Where is it? White. Where's my white one? Where did it go? I had a white one. Here it is. White. It's an Inktense one. Antique White Inktense. But I do think it's water soluble. We'll find out. I want to soften this, or I could maybe soften it with my blender tool. Can I blend this out? Well, no, it's going to peel and pile. Let's see what the white Inktense does on this. Ooh, I kind of like it. Let's see if I can soften all of her face in here. Now, I'm not sure this is water soluble. I'm going to put a line here and see if it's, where's my brush? No, it might be. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. But I do know I'm softening that line. It does not look as harsh to me. I'll soften it in there. Yes. And actually, I can kind of come in with, this is the HB again. She kind of just got a little. And let's go in with the darker back in here again. Now, I think I want to call it done. Well, I'm not happy with that. Let's see if I can soften this. This is a Derwent. It doesn't say that it's water active and reactive, and I really can't tell here, but I'm happy with what it's doing. I'm happy with how it's softening this area out. And that blender tool might work in here too. Still a little dark there for me. I'm surprised this paper is taking the pressure that I put on that. The more I work with that, the happier I am. She says, but don't go too far, Meri. Don't go too far. This is all dark in here. Even darker yet. And darker in here. Push it up like that. Am I happy with it? I'm not unhappy with it. Uh-oh. I think I might have buffered. I think I might have buffered in there. I don't know where I buffered and where I didn't. I'm not sure if it's even going. It says it's going, but I think I might have buffered because it was frozen there for a minute. I'm not sure even if this is still going. I can't tell. But knowing YouTube and how it's been playing with us lately, let's put some lines in here. And then this is kind of coming over this way in a dark area in there. don't know about that. Let's do a little more blending of that. Maybe with my white. All right, I think I should probably this area. I think I should probably quit. um, I'm not unhappy with it. I am not unhappy with it. I think there's some areas of it. There always are areas of improvement, maybe in here. I do think that Vicky, when she says if you draw, because when I tilt this vertically, you know, you can't see what I'm seeing because I'm looking at it like you're looking at it straight down. But when I am looking at it this way, kind of like that. But when I put it up this way, where I'm looking at it straight down, only, you know, like you're looking at it this way. When I put it this way, I'm looking at it the same way that you're looking at it that way. I see it a little different. I see it a little different. But you know what? Playing with it too much, let's just leave it, Meri. Let's go ahead and sign it. I like to sign it with, maybe I'll sign it with my Sharpie here. Meridel Abrams. And this is February. Today is the 21st, 2019. And let me go get her name again. Ada Rehan. Ada, A-D-A-R-E. I lost my picture. R-E-H-A-M. I'm going to put actress. And 1890s. Probably into the 1900, up around in there, but I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to leave it just like that because I'm having fun. She said, I thought you were going to leave it, Meri. Well, you know, sure I am. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me. Let's zoom out one. Let's zoom out one. Come on. There we go. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me talk and practice my drawing. This is all freehand. There's no mechanical manipulation in it. It's just my fun. So thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next page.